Hi, this is Caleb McCain with A Safe Landing Counseling Services. I got back from a month off for what I call a sabbatical rest. Now, I kind of look into Leviticus 26, I believe is what it is. It talks about on the seventh year, let the land rest. This is for the Israelites as they were going into the land of Canaan. Well, this was the start of my seventh year, and I wanted to say, okay, God, I want to honor you with this. What does this look like for me? So, in prayer, I asked, hey, God, how do I take rest here? I don't know if I can take a whole year off. That's not quite where I am right now, but I'd like to. What do you want? And we landed in that conversation on a month. So I took a month off. I was home with my family. We did one big thing every week, which wasn't like going somewhere far. It was like going camping for a night, coming home. And we spent time at home and together. Even in the camping, we didn't even go 20 minutes or more away. We were pretty close to home. So this experience was pretty interesting because rest is essential to a part of who God is. He tells the Israelites, enter into my rest. He tells those who long for him, join my rest. He rested on the seventh day. Rest is so significant to God because there's a lot of healing that happens with rest. Now, I've talked about rest before, but I kind of want to go a little deeper into rest today. I was in a conversation with a client, and the phrase came up, anxiety manifests where there's a lack of rest. This is an incredible, profound statement. Absolutely true. And anxiety manifests where there's a lack of rest. The body does not get what it needs to settle down when our mind is racing constantly, looking for something else to feed itself. So rest is so significant that it actually brings healing. Now, we don't always feel like we're in the healing process, but we can think of it this way. You go into a surgery, you get cut open, you have this painful process take place, and then you go into a rest state where your body's recovering. It doesn't necessarily feel good. It actually feels painful until you can start getting your feet underneath you again and walking around or whatever the surgery might be. In a similar way, when we rest, especially on a weekly basis, there's a process in which it can feel a little bit painful. Anxiety can come up to the surface, depression can come up to the surface, feeling isolated, feeling lack of purpose. All those things can come up to the surface when we start resting. And this is actually why people don't take time off in a significant manner. They want to rush to a place like Disney World to take their time off. And the problem is they're not actually resting. Rest is a process where we sit and we experience the goodness of God. We actually experience his provision, and we're not putting our hands to work. We're not running to something else to make us feel good. I say sit metaphorically. We enjoy the presence around us. That's what rest is. And typically people don't like this because it does feel isolating. It does feel like it's making them think and deal with things that they don't deal with typically. As that happens, there's healing in the process. There's another statement that I felt like God gave me, and that was, pain is life pushing death out of the body. Okay, and I may have said that before, but pain is life pushing death out of the body. Usually when we feel pain, it is the process of us getting into another healing state. If we go numb, we're not necessarily healing. We're not healing. Numbness is not a state of healing. Even if you have a traumatic event, if your body goes numb, that usually means that trauma has happened. If your body goes numb with like an accident, such as something collapsing on your arm and you can't feel, that's not a good thing. The inclination there is get that off, let's go see what needs to be repaired. And that would be a traumatic event. Well, same thing emotionally. When people go numb emotionally, there's typically trauma that's behind that. And there's a need for a rest state to come into place so that things can come up. So rest oftentimes will bring up tensions, it will bring up pains. That way we can have healing take its place and we can have more life in that. So rest brings life because that's the order that God made it. He put it in order at the beginning in creation. He continues to establish it, and we have the offer to take part in it, to have a place in rest. I hope you experience rest in your life. Take a day that's intentional, where you're not just running to the ends of the earth trying to do something that fulfills inside of you an insatiable experience. Instead, rest and let God fill that place. Let God come in and tell you what He loves about you, what He sees about you. I'm not saying that rest has to be solemn, sitting still, turning off the lights, but I do say that rest is a place where we're not making huge plans. We're doing minimal, where we are looking for the goodness of God and realizing His provision for our life. I can tell you, after a month of rest, it was hard. It wasn't easy. Rest is not necessarily easy, but it was good. And I did feel rejuvenated from it. It was wonderful in its complexity. So I ask that you would seek out what God has for you on rest. And I know that there will be a lot of good that comes from it for you. Just know that it's not always easy. And I hope this video helps you. Like the video, subscribe. There'll be more videos coming your way. Have a wonderful day.